We started dating in 2019. We were together for 4 years. We met each other's families. It was a real relationship. That's him calling me Saturday at noon to tell me he was going to the dentist when in reality he was on his way to his wedding. And then when she called the family, a member of the family, she says to them, "Where are you?" And the girl says, "I'm at Frank's wedding." And the girl says, "But he's been with Sonia the past year. What do you mean, like, he's getting married? Like, I didn't even know he was getting married." They seem to be very concerned about his image and how this was affecting him, and not really caring about how it was affecting me or anybody else.
All right, we've got another live one on our hands, and every actor in this play truly deserves an Oscar. We've got Frank playing the role of devoted boyfriend while simultaneously playing excited groom. We've got Sonia playing unsuspecting girlfriend while her intuition was practically screaming in her ear. And we've got the bride playing blushing newlywed while allegedly knowing about the whole roster of side chicks Frank has. Somebody call the Academy, because this is performance art. But here's where it gets insane. This man dropped his girlfriend of 6 years off at 4 a.m. They're talking baby names, planning their future, probably still got her lip gloss on his face. Then 30 minutes later, he's at a hotel marrying a woman his parents actually approved of. 4:30 in the morning. That's not a wedding time. That's I'm trying to make sure nobody sees this time. That's let me make sure my side chick is asleep schedule. And before y'all start picking teams in the comments, let me tell you right now, nobody in this story is innocent. Not Frank with his double life, not Sonia with her selective blindness, and definitely not the bride who apparently knew everything and said "I do" anyway. Because what we're about to watch is 3 adults who each thought they were playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Spoiler alert, they were all playing themselves.
TikTok, I need your help. I need to find out who this lady is because she needs to know the kind of monster she married on Saturday, July 26th in Fairfax, Virginia. This is Frank Arnold, and I have been seeing him consistently for the past year up until 4 a.m. on Saturday morning when he dropped me off at my house after spending the night with me. So imagine my surprise when I go online and I see a video that his friend posted of Arnold getting married after he had just been telling me he wanted to have a child with me. I had no idea he had a whole fiance. That's her name and that's his name. They ended up going to the club after the wedding. Weird. He doesn't even look like he's enjoying himself. This is the demon that calls himself a man of God. That's him calling me Saturday at noon to tell me he was going to the dentist when in reality he was on his way to his wedding. These are random videos of me always at his house with timestamps. Him always asking to hang out with me. 2 weeks ago, he went to Miami for a supposedly birthday party. Turns out it was his bachelor party with strippers included. As soon as he landed, he came to pick me up to spend the night with him. Where was his fiance? His friends and family know about this and they are enabling this behavior. I have known this man for 6 years and I never thought he would do this to me. TikTok, help me find her so she can find out who he really is.
Hold up. Did y'all catch that comment she dropped at the end? Allegedly, she already knew about me and others and allowed it. Others? With an S? So this wasn't a love triangle. This was a whole geometry class. This man was running a roster like he's trying to fill out a basketball team. He had Sonia for the rebellion, the white girl his African parents could blame for corrupting their son. Then he had the bride for respectability, the black woman they could praise him for choosing. And apparently, there were others filling in whatever other personality traits he needed that week. But here's what's really getting me. Sonia noticed he looked uncomfortable at the club after his wedding. Girl, you just found out this man got married and you're analyzing his body language at the reception? That's not heartbreak. That's obsession. That's, I've been watching your every move, energy. You're telling me you were devastated but had time to notice his comfort level? Make it make sense.
Hey guys, I know there's been a lot of confusion about the timeline of things, so I'm gonna try to clear up some of the questions you guys have. We started dating in 2019. We were together for 4 years. We met each other's families. It was a real relationship. We broke up in 2023 because I felt like he wasn't taking the relationship serious enough. So I decided to move to California and start a new life there. A few days before I left, he was begging me to not leave and to stay in Maryland and start a life with him. But it was too late. I decided that we needed to go our separate ways. And when I was in California, he would try to contact me and still beg me to come back and start a life with him. When I came back to Maryland last summer, before we started anything again, I asked him 3 separate times to make sure that he wasn't talking to anybody, that he didn't have a girlfriend, that there wasn't anybody else he was interested in. And he promised me that he had never even dated anybody after me, and I chose to believe him. We were taking our time with things, but some of his family members did know that we were together. Some of his friends knew as well. Nobody ever mentioned to me that there was anybody else, and I never saw any signs of anything. Our pictures together are still on Instagram. We would both go to work in the morning and hang out after work and then hang out on the weekends. And my job was even next to his house. Like, I could literally see his house from my job. I would come over after work, or I would stay at his house and then just go to work from there. And then he would go to his job, and then after work we would do it all over again. So I don't know how he had time for all of this. His car smells like me. My makeup is all over the place. He never said anything to make me feel like he wanted to hide something. He never said to not talk about us. He never said to keep it a secret. He never said to not take pictures or tell our friends about us. He never made it seem like this was a secret to anybody. We were making plans for our future together. We were even going to my friend's wedding together, but when he asked me the date of the wedding, I said it was July 26th. And he says, "Oh, actually, I won't be able to go because I'll be traveling to Ivory Coast that week." It turns out that he had the same wedding date as my friend, and he knew that he was leaving to go to his honeymoon for a week right after the wedding. So that's why he couldn't come with me. And he planned on continuing this after the wedding. He thought he was going to come back after his honeymoon and continue seeing me. He had even asked me what kind of engagement rings I like, when the whole time he was already engaged. I asked him a few weeks ago if he was sure about me, and he said that yes, that he never wanted me to leave him again. I was told that the girl came into the picture a little bit before I came back from California, but they broke up because he cheated on her. And then they got back together, and then I came back from California and he started seeing me around the same time. I did not know she existed till this past Saturday when I saw them in the wedding video. I tried contacting him and his family and anybody I could because I was so confused and I wanted answers, but nobody wanted to tell me anything. Only one of his friends decided to tell me the truth. We did everything we could to find her, but it was not as easy as everybody thought. And all of her social media was from years ago. And then I was told that she doesn't use social media anymore. So I couldn't get in contact with her. His family contacted me, but only after they saw the video. Before that, they didn't reach out to me at all. I told them to tell him that I do not want anything to do with him ever in my life. But I do want to know what I did to this man to deserve this. He cannot be playing with people's lives like this and then think he can just get away with it. I did not expect this to go viral, but just know there's multiple sides to this story.
3 times she asked him, 3 times if he was seeing anyone. Your grandmother's spirit doesn't make you ask 3 times unless she's trying to save your life. But Sonia heard what she wanted to hear because winning him back was more important than getting the truth. And can we talk about the California situation? She left him, built a whole new life, got a new man, was thriving, then came back to the same dude who couldn't commit after 4 years. That's not love. That's unfinished business. That's I need to prove I can make him choose me behavior. But Frank? This man said, I'm going to the dentist while wearing his wedding suit. The dentist. Not even a believable lie, like a work emergency or family crisis. The dentist. And he called her at noon to check on her during his wedding. That's sociopathic. Here's what nobody wants to admit. This man needed both women. He couldn't function with just one. Sonia was his escape from his culture. The bride was his connection to it. He wasn't choosing between them. He was collecting them like Pokemon cards.
Story time on how I found out that the guy I was seeing went to get married when he was supposed to be at his dentist appointment. A lot of you keep asking me how I found out, how I felt, and what I did, so let's get into it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you watch my previous videos. Quick backstory, I met this guy in 2019 and we dated for about 4 years before I moved away for a year and came back last summer. And that's when we started dating again. Fast forward to this past July 26th, he called me around noon to tell me that he was on his way to his dentist appointment, which he had scheduled as an emergency because he had been having tooth pain for the past few weeks. I didn't think anything of it since I had been telling him to schedule that appointment for weeks, so I just thought he finally listened. He told me that he would call me later on that night before he got on his flight to go visit his family in his country, and that he would also see me as soon as he came back from his trip. Turns out he was on his way to his wedding, not a dentist appointment. I wasn't feeling well that day, so I decided to go take a nap, and I woke up around 4:30 that evening, and I decided to go on Instagram, and when I went on there, I clicked on one of his friends' Instagram stories, and that's where I saw the video. The video was of my ex getting married that day, and when I saw it, my stomach dropped. I was in shock and just disbelief of what I was looking at. The first thing I did was message the friend that posted the wedding video, just asking, what is this? I thought it was a joke at first. He blocked me as soon as he read my messages, and that's when I knew that it was real. I started calling everybody I could that knew that we were together and just tried to get answers because I was genuinely so confused on what was going on. I was devastated to know that everything had been a lie all these years. And after wasting 6 years of my life with this man, I wanted to get answers somehow. I decided to post a video to try to get the answers that nobody was willing to give me. And here we are now. Friends and family members knew that we were together, by the way, so they chose not to tell me anything. Also, turns out that the trip he had planned to go see his family was actually his honeymoon. Let me know if you want a part 2. Part 2 of finding out that my ex went to get married instead of going to his dentist appointment. If you need a recap, make sure you watch my previous videos. So after trying to get a hold of my ex, also known as Frank, and anybody else that I could that night, only one friend answered me, and I was able to actually get a lot of information from him. At first I did feel bad for the woman, and I wanted to know if she knew what she was getting herself into. Now I don't really care anymore, but I'll get more into that later. The next day we were able to find her name, but we weren't able to really get in contact with her. So we just left it at that. Frank did read all of my text messages that night, so he knew that I found out what happened as the wedding was happening. The next day I knew that I was still not going to be able to get any answers, so I decided to post the TikTok video because I knew that was going to be the only way that anybody was going to acknowledge that anything had happened. The day after I posted the video, I did get a phone call from Frank's sister and his twin brother, and they pretty much just wanted me to take down the video. I asked them, how did this even happen when me and him were together the past year? And they claimed that they had no idea. More details on that later. They seemed to be very concerned about his image and how this was affecting him, and not really caring about how it was affecting me or anybody else. They asked if I would be willing to sit down and have a conversation with Frank and the family if I took down the video. I didn't expect it to go viral, but at the same time, if I hadn't posted the video, I would not have found out a lot of stuff that I know now that I didn't know before. So I don't regret posting the video. I've had family members on both sides, friends, wedding guests, co-workers, ex-girlfriends, just a lot of people telling me things that I didn't know about, and I'll probably make a separate video about that because it's a lot. There's so many theories going around about what the real story is, but unfortunately Frank is the only one that knows the full story, and I have not spoken to him or his wife. So we're gonna continue trying to get answers. See you in part 3. I appreciate all the positive messages. This is part 3 of the wedding cheating drama. As I mentioned before, after I posted the original video, I did get contacted by a bunch of family members, wedding guests, ex-girlfriends, just wanting to give me info. I had a few family members on her side reach out to me and apologize on her behalf, letting me know that they had no idea that any of this was going on, but they did let me know that some people in her family did know about the situation. I was told that allegedly her family had reservations about them getting married in the first place due to things that had happened before I even came in the picture. I found out that he had actually cheated on her before I even came back from California. I'm not sure with who, but either way, she chose to take him back. It was not a secret that he had cheated on her before. It was verified by quite a few people on his side. Some of the friends told me that they had only met the wife once or twice, so they were surprised when he said he was getting married. Allegedly, she had spoken to acquaintances and told them that she had seen some red flags and she had her suspicions, but due to personal reasons, she decided that she wanted to continue with the wedding. Some of the wedding guests also told me about some weird stuff that was happening at the wedding, like candle holders breaking and almost catching things on fire, or the stools breaking and them almost falling over. Just little signs that maybe something was wrong. That's what happens when you sit there and pray to God while you're sinning. Allegedly, his wife did receive all of my messages, but she decided not to acknowledge them for whatever reason. That's her choice. A few girls reached out to me and told me that they had been with him or around him in the past few months, and that he never told anyone that he was in a relationship, let alone engaged. He always acted single, and they had no idea till I posted the video that he was actually getting married. One of the questions you guys are always asking is, why did I stay with him for so long when we dated previously with no real commitment? The answer to that is that when we met, he was still in school. He hadn't finished school yet. So he was in the process of doing that. And then once he graduated, he had a hard time finding a job, which I was actually the one that got him his first real job, which was where I worked at. And so we worked together for a few years. I completely understood that he was still trying to get his career going and trying to become more financially stable. But at the same time, he was doing things like going to the club every weekend and spending hundreds of dollars on a section, which to me kind of seemed like he wasn't ready to move forward in a serious way. There was something that happened right before we broke up that really hurt me and kind of was the last straw for me. And he later did apologize for that because he could see how much that hurt me. He knows what that is, but honestly, the whole friend group is shady. And if I was dating or married to one of them, I would probably want to know what they're up to. They all cover for each other. Also, there was a woman that was allegedly dating Frank while he was still in school, and from sharing timelines, it was around the time when me and him were already together. So apparently he cheated on me back then as well. He did mention to me a few times that he was really hurt when I moved away and that it really affected him, and that he really cared about me and that he just did not want me to ever leave him alone again. That's one theory about why he might have done this to me, but only they know. I'm still very much interested in finding out what the plan was and why they did this, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that. But I do want them to know that there's consequences for your actions, and you don't get to just play with people's lives like this and get away with it. I do want to address one of the comments that I seem to get a lot, which is that I should have known what I was getting myself into dating his culture. I don't think that's an excuse. I feel like not everybody is the same. So just because he's a certain culture doesn't mean that I should have known that he was gonna do this to me. You know, some women are okay with their significant others cheating on them as long as they come back to them at the end of the day. And in my opinion, they're just as guilty. I know everyone is so invested in this story now, and let me know if you have any more questions. I'm not sure if I'll be making a part 4 yet. There are a few things I'm working on the side, but let me know what you think. As always, remember to engage from the bottom up. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day, not just a good day, and just remember to be kind to each other.
So the wedding had candles catching fire and stools breaking. Even God was trying to stop this mess. The universe was sending smoke signals. Literal smoke signals. And everyone just kept going. And the bride's family had reservations about the marriage. That's code for, we know he ain't but you won't listen. They knew about the cheating. She knew about Sonia and the others. But she thought her melanin was magic enough to change him. She thought being the wife meant she won. Meanwhile, Frank's family saw Sonia on their Ring camera for a year and stayed quiet. The mum found her hair in the bed and made jokes about protection. They were all co-conspirators in this mess. This wasn't just Frank's deception. This was a family production.
So for people who wants the updated version of what's going on with this marriage y'all seen that happen, and then a lady came out and basically said that was her man, So she actually messaged me and said that since I was the nicest person who made a point of view about it, she would actually tell me the story. So she told me to message her on and call her. So if you guys want to hear it and what she said, and this is the story, and this is how it happens.
Okay, but the thing is, let me just start from the beginning, okay?
Okay.
So me and Frank, we started dating in 2019, and now that I think about it, he got married literally to the date that we met, 6 years, July 26th. So anyways, we met in 2019, started dating, that year, like in August. We were together for 4 years. The last year that we were together in 2023, before I moved to California, the last year that we were together, the reason I left to go to California was because he couldn't get his life together. I kept telling him, we've been together for 4 years, we need to move towards marriage or whatever. And I feel like you're not moving serious enough. We're trying to plan our future. He would always tell me no, we're getting married. And I could understand because, he had just graduated college. He was trying to find a real job, career and all that. And I completely understood. That's why I stood by him for all those years. And then, but at the end, I was I felt like he wasn't being serious enough. And I'm not gonna, spending so many years with somebody and you're still not married. It's you have to question, are we meant to be together? So I decided to move to California. He waited till the 2 days before I left to go to California on July 4th, 2023. Decided to wait 2 days till I moved to California to beg me to not move. Then he was saying no, please stay. If you stay, we can get married. Please don't leave me. But it was too late. I told him it's too late, Frank. I already quit my job. I gave up my apartment. I already found a job in California, a place over there. And I said, we can take this year, figure out your life, your situation. I'm gonna live my life in California. If I find somebody over there, then maybe it's just not meant to be. If I come back and we're still single, we can see where it goes. The whole time I was in California, he was begging me to come back. He would tell me, please pick out your engagement ring. Do you want gold? Do you want silver? Begging me, telling me, come back and we'll start our life together. Okay. But it's not that easy. You can't just couldn't just leave. I had already found a job in California. I had started a relationship even over there. And then after a year of being in California, I came back last July. I came back to Maryland, okay? He was so happy that I was coming back. When I came back, he asked me, we kind of started talking a little bit, hang out. We would hang out maybe once a week, nothing serious for a few weeks.
What year was this when you came back to Maryland?
Last July, 2024.
Oh, okay.
So I came back, July 2024, and then we started hanging out. And before we started anything, I said to him, are you seeing anybody? You're not dating anybody, talking to anybody, right? And he's like, no, I'm not talking to anybody. I want to see where it goes with you. I asked him on 3 different occasions, within a week at the beginning before we started anything. He told me no, he wasn't with anybody. So then, sorry if there's noise in the background. My nephews are
it's fine.
Screaming. So he promised me there was nothing going on. Okay, he works for I don't want to say where he works, but he has an important job. So he works a 9-to-5 job. So the way we would do things is he would go to work in the morning. It would take him an hour and a half after 5 o'clock to get home. So then we would hang out after work. That's why people are oh, you guys only hang out at night. But it's we both work. So we would hang out after work. People are oh, you guys don't have messages during the day. Why would I have messages during the day when he's right next to me? Why would I be texting him during the day? So then, so we would hang out during the day. Then we hang out on the weekends. There was never any indication of anything. I would go to his house. They have a Ring camera. He lives with his mom and the little brother, but the mom is always out of the country in Ivory Coast visiting the dad, because the dad lives in Ivory Coast. So the only people that would ever really be at the house would be Frank and his little brother. And they had a Ring camera, so that's why I was like confused. Like, there's a Ring camera, so like, wouldn't they have seen me coming and going? Right. Like, I was always like, we'd be upstairs in his room, or we'd be downstairs, like in the basement. Like, 6 months ago, they have like a little guest room in the basement. 6 months ago, we were there on the bed watching a movie, and the next day he calls me and he's like, oh, like, my mom found your hair on the bed when she was cleaning the bed, laughing about it. And he said that the mom said to him, if you guys are like, being intimate, make sure like you guys use protection so that nothing happens before like you guys get married.
Right.
Okay. So I know the mom knew we were together, but like, I didn't think anything because they're always out of the country. So I wouldn't question like, oh, when I'm going to see your mom again, like things like that. I've met his entire family. I've spent holidays with them. Okay. Like, I was never the side person. Like, I was with him for 4 years and I left him for a year. I came back in this 4 year. We were moving towards like being together. His car, he's let me drive his car. His car smells like me. Like, I spray my glitter spray. Like, it's all over the car. Like, when we go to his house, like, I didn't see any signs of anybody. There was never anybody calling him when we were together. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a fiance, wouldn't she be calling you?
Right.
Like, he was never getting phone calls, nothing. On my Instagram, on my stories, I have all our pictures and videos still that he told me not to delete. Even when I was in a relationship in California, he told me not to delete them because he wanted me to, he's like, those are yours, like, those are ours, like, why are we gonna delete them? Like, we're gonna be together. So of course, like, if you have fiance, why wouldn't you want me to delete those pictures? Like, if I was in a secret relationship, I would be doing everything for somebody to not find out. Like, I would be telling me to delete my pictures, like, all of that. So then this whole year we were just moving towards that. Even like a few weeks ago, I told him, like, I don't know if I deep down had a feeling of something, not that I suspected anything, but like something made me say to him, like, hey Frank, like, do you really think like we're meant to be together? Like, do you think like this is supposed to just be like a friendship and we just have like a really strong friendship because we've known each other for 6 years? Or like we're actually meant to be together? He's like, no, we're meant to be together. Like, we're gonna be together. Even last week, so he had another opportunity. Oh, I said, if you don't want to be together, like, if you have any doubts, like, we can just be friends. He had every opportunity to be like, hey, Sonia, you know what? I actually, like, there is somebody else in my life. Like, he never said that to me. I have since we started hanging out, I have all our messages together, all our pictures together, everything.
So, recently during the, when he went to of course, the marriage, and where do you think he was at? Did he say where he was at? Like, you have conversation with him? Like, more pictures? Because I guess what I've been seeing online is the fact that you didn't have no recent pictures. You only had a picture of him working out. Like, is there any more?
Oh yeah. Okay. So the reason I had the video of him working out was because he wouldn't tell me to take pictures of him doing his push-ups so he could see his form.
Right. Okay.
So it looks like I'm like sneaking a picture, but it's like, no, it's like he literally told me to take videos of him. We didn't want to post pictures, like, because they hadn't made it like official to everybody. We wanted this whole year. We were like taking the time to like re-know each other again after being away from a year from each other. Like, we wanted it to be private, just us, before we made it like official. Okay. Even last week I was in his house, and then he kissed me, and then he says to me, and he was like teary-eyed a little bit, and I was like thinking, oh, maybe because we had some wine, it made him emotional, and that's why he had teary-eyed. But like, I think it was because it was getting closer to his wedding. So he says to me, I just want you to know that, like, whenever I've never felt anything for anybody else the way I feel for you. Like, we have such a strong connection. Nobody knows me the way you do. Like, you know everything about me. You know, like, how I am as a person, how I react to everything. I don't even feel anything for anybody else when I kiss them. Only feel feelings for you. And I'm like sitting there, like, thinking, oh, he's just like and being emotional, confessing to me how he really feels, because he's not somebody that really expresses himself all the time. So I'm like here thinking like, oh my God, like he really loves me, So the day of the wedding, he was supposed to go to my friend's wedding with me. I asked him, I said, do you want to be my +1 to the wedding? And he's like, yeah, I'll come with you to the wedding. He's like, when is it? And I was like, oh, it's July 26th. And then he's like, oh, July 26th? Oh, I'm actually going to be traveling to Ivory Coast for the week. So I thought he couldn't go with me to the wedding because he was traveling to Ivory Coast, like he said. That's why when, that morning that he dropped me off at 4, I wasn't feeling well. All my medication was at my house. I was like, can you take me home? That's why he dropped me off, everybody's like, 4 in the morning. But no, I wasn't feeling well. I said, because if not, he was going to drop me off at noon before he went to his dentist appointment. So anyways, but he still called me at noon to check up on me. And that's when I was like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, I'm on the way to the dentist. I'm running behind, but I'll call you later and we'll either hang out today or tomorrow, which now putting that together, I'm like, wait, I should have remembered. Wait, I thought you were going to Ivory Coast. So I don't know. I think because I had a headache and I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't thinking. I was like, okay, just call me back later. So that's when I went and I took a nap. And then I don't really go on my Instagram like that. I'm more on TikTok. So my Instagram is more for my family and stuff, but they have all our pictures on there. So I don't know what made me go on Instagram and click on his friend's page, which he had made me a year ago. When I was still in California, actually, he had told me to delete all his friends because he doesn't like his friends in our business and all that. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, because I didn't really like his friends because they're all shady. So I had deleted all his friends, but I forgot about this one friend. I don't know how I forgot to delete him. And I think looking back, I think it's for a reason that I didn't delete him, because when I woke up from my nap, the first person's story that I saw was that guy. And I was like, I thought I deleted him, and I clicked on the story, and that's where I see the wedding. And at first I didn't have my glasses on, so his twin brother, because he has an identical twin brother, just like I have an identical twin sister. So I thought it was one of those, throwback videos from a year ago, because his brother got married exactly a year ago too. And they're twins, so I'm thinking it's him. But then I'm like, wait, that's not his wife. So then I look at the name and I see that it's Frank. And I don't know, if anybody can imagine, my shock when I saw that. Immediately, I felt like I went, numb. I felt no feelings except that I wanted to get answers. So immediately I start calling, people that I know. And I called one person and I said, I asked about the wedding, and she had no idea. She's friends with a really close friend of the brother's wife. So then she started calling to find out information, and then she gets back to me and she's like, Sonia, he's getting married. And then when she called the family, a member of the family, she says to them, where are you? And the girl says, I'm at Frank's wedding. And the girl says, but he's been with Sonia the past year. What do you mean, he's getting married? I didn't even know he was getting married. And then the girl was so shocked. She was like, what? No, there's no way, you're lying. And then so I start sending them all our pictures, our videos and everything. And she was shocked. So she went to pull him aside, I guess. And I don't know what happened after that, but nobody contacted me. None of the family members got back to me. Nobody. I tried to get a hold of all of them. Then we did try to find her name, but people seem to think it was so easy to find her, but it wasn't. There's a million, at least in our area, there's a million people with her name. Right. And then also all the social medias that I contacted that we found, they're all from they haven't been posted in 2020, 2019. It's almost she doesn't post or go online. I wasn't able to get a hold of her.
So did you try to call Frank? Did you?
Yes, millions of times. So many text messages, calls telling him you need to call me. How could you do this to me? Who is she? I even have the messages. I was gonna
right. Could you send me the messages?
Yeah, I was gonna post an update with the message saying this is the last message I sent this man, where I'm confronting him about who is she and how could you do this to me? He never got back to me, never answered a single message, nothing. Okay, nothing. None of his family contacted me. When the only person that contacted me after the wedding was one of their friends that had left early, okay? He calls me and he says, Sonia, how's California? And I'm like, I've been back in Maryland for a whole year. And he's like, oh, you're back in Maryland? And I said, yeah. And Frank is getting married? And he's like, yeah, I was just at the wedding. He had no idea. I said, so I told him the full story of how we had been together the past year. He was in shock. He was one friend that Frank was specific about me blocking 2 years ago because he has a big mouth, he says. And it turns out to be the one friend in their group that was not made a groomsman. And I guess he knew that he would tell me if I didn't block him, that he would tell me the truth because we were both friends with him. So he would tell me if he had somebody else. So then I started asking this guy all the questions, like, who is this woman? Like, who is she? Like, can you give me some info? What is her name? Me still trying to find out, right? He says, to be honest with you, Sonia, like, the whole friend group has only met her one time. He's been with her. He said he's been with her like 10 months. And they broke up at the beginning. Like, after a month of being together, they broke up because she found out that he cheated on her. But I guess since it was like, whatever she found out, I guess, wasn't like serious enough for her to be like, oh, don't ever talk to me again. She said, if you ever cheat on me again, I won't forgive you. At least this is what the friends know about the situation. They got back together, apparently, but the friend group had only met her like once or twice because he says to me, Sonia, you know Frank really well. Like, all of us, like, our friend group, he doesn't date African girls. He doesn't. He's always told all of them, everybody, he's not attracted to the African girls. He went to West Virginia University. That's like a 90% like white school. So I never questioned anything. He would always tell me, like, I've never been attracted to African girls, like things like that. Like, I didn't question his choices. So he said that whenever the girl wasn't around, he would be like saying things like she has really low self-esteem, like that's why I don't bring her around, like things like that. So I didn't really question him like about anything. He said that at the wedding, another friend, after this whole thing went viral, which, by the way, I did not do this with the intention. I didn't think it was gonna go like this. But he said that at the wedding, they had already been talking about amongst themselves, like, after the ceremony and all that, saying, like, why does Frank look so, like, preoccupied with something? Why does he look like he's not having a good time? Like, why does he look, like, upset? But they were just thinking, oh, maybe he's just, like, in his feelings because he just got married or something. Then they went to the club after, and the video there, he's like reading my messages as the video is like happening. That's why the friends were saying that they weren't even standing next to each other, like at the club or whatever, or in the video, because she had seen messages from me that night. So she saw something from me. And I guess she was mad because she was like thinking like, what's going on? And that's why they're not even like standing near each other at the club. So like, yes, I do feel bad for her. Like have
you found her? Did you contact her?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, I found her. Like, I found her. I contacted her, but she didn't reply to me or anything. And this was like yesterday. She hasn't replied to me or nothing. So, I guess I don't know if like the girl knew that.
I think she probably knew about you, but like you said, it's been 10 months. So they only been together 10 months, and it's like, okay, maybe she knew about you, and he told her all these lies, like, oh, that was the past. The girl.
That's what I'm saying.
She could have told her, girl, that you've been to California, so you've been away, you weren't even near. That was old news, and never told the girl that you came back. It's probably
yes. Or what if she did know about me the whole time and was just like fine with it, and that's how he was able to spend so much time with me? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, how does she like not question like not spending time with him though? Like, did she know about me the whole time?
Well, I mean, 10 months is not only fast for a marriage, but 10 months is just quick, if anything. Like, especially like you said, you've been gone to California. So he could have told her that you was in California, you left him. You know, men make up any type of, you know, he could have said that you left him, anything. Didn't even say that you was back. So she probably wasn't worried about where you been, where he's at, because he probably told her that you were still out in California. So there's nothing to worry about. So if you're disappearing, he disappearing all type of nights and stuff like that, why she gotta worried if she thinks you're all the way in California?
That's true. And it is like, it's like a 10-month relationship. And at first I was thinking, like, was this like some kind of like arranged marriage? But like, then like the friends, like the African friends were like, it can't be an arranged marriage if they're not from the same country. I don't know how that works. So I'm like thinking, like, I'm trying to like figure out, like, why is this so quick? Like, is she pregnant? Like, I don't know. Like, he would do things like, you know, we'd be together and he'd be like, oh, I can't wait till we have a baby together. Like, I wonder what it's gonna look like. Saying like, oh, if we have a baby by this time, then it would be born on this month. Like, we were actually talking like plans.
All right, so after listening to all of that, I'm gonna say something that's gonna make everybody mad, but it needs to be said. This whole situation, this was Frank's revenge. Think about it. Sonia broke his heart, moved to California, started dating someone else. For a man with an ego like Frank's, that's unforgivable. So he orchestrated the ultimate payback. He let her think they were rebuilding, asked about engagement rings while planning his wedding, and made sure she'd find out in the most humiliating way possible, through social media. And the bride? She was just collateral damage, a prop in his revenge story. He didn't marry her because he loved her. He married her because she was everything Sonia wasn't. Submissive enough to accept his cheating, traditional enough for his parents, and desperate enough to ignore the red flags. But Sonia, baby girl, you wanted to hurt him back so bad that you aired out everything. You didn't do this to warn the bride. You did it for revenge. And honestly, I respect the pettiness, but let's call it what it is. At the end of the day, we've got 3 people who all thought they were the main character in this story. Frank thought he was the player. The bride thought she was the winner. And Sonia thought she was the victim. But really? They're all just proof that some people will literally set themselves on fire just to see if the other person will feel the heat.